Here we are, guys. We're back in the shop, and today we have this gamer special found out in the wild as is. So let's crack her open and see how much gold is inside. Always gut them. They usually take their hard drives with them for sure. Most of the time they don't leave the DVD or rewritable, and this is a writable. So I don't know why they left that. Maybe they didn't need it. Most of the time they take everything else. They did take the RAM sticks. They did take the CPU out of there, but that's okay because there is a power supply up in there. All right, so like I said, I don't know what happened to this computer. I think this was a complete switch over. It looks completely gutted to me. The motherboard doesn't look half bad, but like I said, when I get stuff out of the wild, I tend not to try to reuse this because honestly, while I'm editing a video for you guys, I really don't want to have it crap out. So there's that. We're gonna have a couple screws in the back for the power supply. Let's start with those, and we'll get those off and see what happens. Yeah, you're gonna lose screws everywhere. In fact, you put your screws in your bucket down there and save them, bring them to your scrap yard. They'll give you pennies on the pound, but hey, that's a way to make more money from your scrap. It sure is. Let's see, it slides right out. Okay, so I'm gonna need to get two hands on this guy to get this guy out real quick. We'll get him laid out. On a side note, this is the most intricate power supply I have ever taken out of a computer. Holy crap. Now, I know you're going to say, Scrooge, where's that motherboard? Well, hold on there, Sparky. Check this out. So if you look, that's steel. Guaranteed steel. But hey, look at this. No steel, no stick. So that's telling me that's aluminum. I don't think it's stainless steel. That would be very expensive to make, but this shell is all 100% aluminum, besides for the steel bolts and whatnot that are holding things on. So I'm gonna go through here and I'm gonna take all the steel out and make sure that my magnet does not stick to any one of these. And we're gonna clean this up, and that's gonna be a nice big chunk of sheet aluminum for my scrapyard. That is one heck of a score. I thought it was gonna be steel, even the side plate. Aluminum. One heck of a score. Don't pass that up. Use your handy dandy magnet and figure out what kind of metal you're working with. So this is a close-up of the LEDs. I've been trying to get you guys a close-up for a while. But this is an amber LED. It looks like it's going to have some silver. Normally you'll see a little hair of gold, but this is a newer LED. The newer LEDs don't have as much to be had, but I still collect them up and I still put them in my process. All right, guys, so what do we have left? Well, remember, this one was gutted before we even got a hold of it, but there's still some goodies to be had in there. There's still some things. Yeah, and I didn't even realize. I thought the RAM sticks were taken out, but when I got the motherboard out, I see that the RAM sticks are still in there, so we can look at those. All right, guys, so what does that leave us with? Well, we got our copper-bearing material right here. We're going to have a little bit of number 2 wire right here. I leave it as it is. I don't strip it. Some people will, so that they can melt it in their forge and stuff like that, and that's super cool. We're going to get to that at some point in time. But right now, this is just going to go in my bag, and it's going to be sold at my scrapyard to help me buy my forge. Yeah, so when you bring your stuff into your scrapyard, really quick, guys, just make sure you discuss with your scrapyard what they're going to give you for it, because they'll offer you 5 cents on the pound. You'll laugh, they'll laugh. Then you can really discuss what they're actually going to give you for it. Don't take the first answer, but don't be rude. You guys work together. We're all in this together. So about this power supply, yes, this is a run-of-the-mill, average, brand new power supply. It's intricate with tons of wires and everything else, but I think this is going to be helpful for us in our future videos. So I'm not going to get rid of this one, but for everybody that wants to know what's inside of an average PC power supply, we have one already cracked open here. The wires are everywhere and it's all in the way, but that's okay. So what do we have? Well, in an average power supply, you're going to have a couple caps, and that's okay. They're going to be aluminum, so you put them in your pop cans and you get rid of them. You're already in there, why not? What else do we have? Well, we have extruded aluminum. What makes it extruded aluminum? Well, you see it looks like it's been pressed through a die. So that in turn tells me it's extruded. It's worth a lot more than your pop can aluminum. Don't put it in the same one. You will regret it. Your junkyard will give you a lot more money for it. What else do we got on here? Well, this board is actually loaded with all sorts of stuff. These are copper-bearing transformers. A lot of people will try to wackadoo that ferrite off and strip that copper out of there. That yellow tape, however, is quite a bugger to get into. You don't want to do that, but if you want to do it, just wackadoo on the top of the hammer. That ferrite will break, and you will have some copper number 2 to be had. There is a fuse right here. This fuse may contain silver. I don't pass them up. I collect them and I take them off the board. You can see these 3-leg transistor packs right here, resistor packs. I take them as well and I throw them in my IC chips. What's an IC chip? Well, an IC chip is this guy right here. Sometimes they have gold, sometimes they have silver, but every one of those legs on that IC chip is going to go to a bond die, and on that die is going to have all those wires. They may or may not contain silver. I do not pass them up because most of the time in all of our products, they contain gold, free gold. gold. It is there to be had. You're also going to see these copper donuts. Everybody talks about them. Everybody wants them. They're back here. They're fun to get. They have a ferrite ring. You whack a D with your hammer. They break. You pull them out. That's copper number 2. What is copper number 2? Copper number 2 is right here. That's what my yard takes for copper number 2. Make sure you talk with your yard. But so we got some copper. We got some free aluminum. And what else do we got? Well, we have some disc capacitors. A lot of the times, these disc capacitors will have some silver in them, especially depending on your vintage. I don't pass them up. You find them all over the board, from black, white, blue, green, yellow, orange, the color of the rainbow. We really like these blue ones because these blue ones come around a lot, and a lot of time they actually do contain silver. These are going to be in my MOSFETs. This isn't a MOSFET. This is a 4-leg transistor pack, inline pack. I'm not sure, but just like you see this guy underneath right back here, that is a MOSFET. Those are going to have copper underneath that plastic. Take them into your scrapyard, ask them what they'll give you for it. When they say nothing, you walk out, and by the time you hit your car, they're going to be coming out asking you how much you want for them. And if not, you need to find a new scrapyard. We have a big transformer right here, just like the little one, same as before, just different. You smash that open with your hammer, you're going to get all that goody copper number 2 out of there. You have hidden copper number 2. That is inside of a shrink wrap that people don't pay attention to as well. And it is there. It does exist. And don't be shy. Go ahead and get it. And you can see right there by my thumb blocking the way, that's brass. There is some brass inside of this as well. And you're going to have on your board more and more goodies. You have a light sensitive, photosensitive diode right here that controls the board. That is akin to LEDs. They may have a little bit of gold inside of them. I don't pass them up, and I collect them. And there's so many goodies and activities to be had on one power supply. And that's just the power supply. So what else do we have? Well, we have the motherboard. The motherboard. Yeah, everybody wants to see the motherboard. I know. Well, let's get to it. All right, so here's the motherboard. I didn't realize the RAM sticks were left in there, but that's a bonus. Hey, that's another bonus. I just found some more free gold. I know everybody's looking at these heat sinks, and unfortunately, those are not plated in gold. There's no reason for them to be plated in gold. In fact, these are anodized aluminum. They're still nice. You'll have to talk to your junkyard. Make sure you take all the steel and any kind of magnetic bits out of there, and if you have to take the stuff off, take the stuff off. But that is another chunk of extruded aluminum, and it will go. Sometimes scrapyards pay more for the colored stuff, sometimes they don't. This is going to have a stainless steel rod inside of it. Yes, I think it's stainless steel. I doubt it's copper. I tried to bend it and it would not bend, so in turn that's telling me that's probably stainless steel, because again, it is not magnetic. If it's not magnetic, it's not regular steel. It's either aluminum, stainless steel, copper, you know the gig. That's more free aluminum for my aluminum bucket. So what else do we got here? Okay, well, we got a lot of connections and a lot of things to be had. Unfortunately, a lot of these things are not going to have as much or if any gold in them anymore. I know you guys see me demonstrate all these pins down here, and you guys see me run my screwdriver across these pins, and I'm super excited. On a majority, none of these pins are going to have any gold in it, unfortunately. You got a lot of aluminum capacitors nowadays, electrolytic capacitors, and they take place of other capacitors nowadays, so you're not going to find a lot of those. You will find a little bit of silver because they all have to run their clocks. So there's actually quite a few of those silver ones for this board. I know you're looking at the empty socket. Yeah, there are going to be gold fingers in there. Unfortunately, it's not as nice, but those little gold pins inside of there are nice to be had on a free board. They sure are. You flip-a-do this guy over, you take your normal CPU out of there, and look at all the gold fingers to be had. There's not very much, but they are there. And I know you're wondering what kind of CPU would have been in here. I'm guessing something along that lines, like right there. So all these gold pads are nice and they look good, but they're like macaroni art. You know, they're worth something to somebody, but they're not really worth much to most people. But I keep them. I pop that heat sink off of there. We crack them into that stock pot over there in that corner, and we get our free gold off them because it's just very thin flashing. It's not like the other CPUs that we've been taking out of vintage stuff. But this one did not have that, so we're working with what we have. What else do we have on the board? These are going to have copper inside of them. You whack a D with your hammer, and you're going to have some free copper. I know everybody's like, well, it can't be free. Well, I didn't pay for it, so what does it make it? It makes it free. I didn't have to pay for it. I didn't even waste really any gas getting it. A lot of people bring me my stuff. A lot of people do that. So yes, when I say it's free, I mean I didn't pay gas, I didn't pay electricity, I didn't pay heat or anything else to get it. All I did was get it. And all I got to do is take this battery out of here to make sure it doesn't explode my shop. For all you guys that are new here and you struggled through that, take that battery out of there. Don't leave them laying around your shop. You're going to regret it. Yes, even one letter is going to make you regret it. Now, the reason why this computer did not have a hard drive inside the shell, what I'm assuming is because it had a solid state hard drive. Right here, it's a long memory stick. You have different sizes, and you put that in there, put your set screw in there, and that is your memory hard drive. That's your, yeah. So you don't even have really big hard drives anymore. So the future of e-waste is really looking kind of dim. Fortunately for me, I live on the edge of technology, so I am able to find technology that existed in the 80s and 90s and even the 60s and 70s. But these RAM sticks are going to be pretty nice. They're going to be pretty nice little RAM sticks. I hope. I don't see what size they are because I have to look through my viewfinder because old Scrooge is blind. You guys know that. And if you don't know that, now you do. So I don't know how big these are, but hey, they got a little gold on the bottom of them. They are free gold. They're going to go into our stock pot over there after I collect up a bunch of them with their little friends and neighbors that I have right over here. I have a bunch of friends and neighbors right over here that they all go to hang out with. And once we get them all stacked up, and once I get enough of them, they will go into that stock pot over there. They have their different processes, and we'll enter into that, but don't worry about that. Come this way. Okay, so we're back to the motherboard. That's about to be said about this motherboard. And this motherboard may actually have more value to somebody who wants to purchase it, but I hate to say it, I'm afraid that this motherboard is sitting in that weird, awkward position where it's too new to be old and too old to be new and too everything to be nothing. So I'm pretty sure it's just about useless. It's not really going to have a lot of gold recovery, unfortunately, but it's still going to have some stuff on it, and we're going to still depopulate it for fun in the next video on this particular computer. So if you guys have learned anything or you're having fun here, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Go check out our other videos on our computer series. I'm learning just as much from you guys as you guys are learning from me, I hope. I hope you're learning something here today, and thank you for a few minutes of your time. And until the next video, have a great day. And for my wife, I love you. And for my kids, go wash your face.